You know, man, this year has been kind of insane.
Especially here recently.
Yeah, it seems like here recently it's been just good movie after good movie after good movie after good movie, just one after the other. Well, I guess I had to come to an end sometime.
Frozen 2 is directed by Chris Buck and Jennifer Lee, who also directed the first one.
And it stars Kristen Bell. Oh my goodness, I can't remember his name. Jonathan Groff and Josh Gad. And just to start off, I want to say, like, the first one, technically, I've seen the whole thing, but, like, I haven't seen it all the way through one time in one sitting.
Yeah.
I've seen all the scenes. I've seen, like, a lot of it, probably even, like, the first half, then, like, a little bit after the first half, and then, like, the end in, like, separate occasions.
Right.
So I know how to put the pieces together. I know the whole story. I understand it, and I do like the first one. I do, however, find it highly overrated, and I don't really necessarily. Whenever people say overrated, it's not a bad thing. It's just that I feel like it's a really good movie, a good story. You know, really great characters. I just don't think it's as good as people said it was, considering the same year what Big Hero 6 came out.
Oh yeah.
And not nearly as many people talked about Big Hero 6 as much as Frozen. Big Hero 6 was a better movie overall.
Yeah, I have seen the whole movie Frozen, and I kind of agree. I do like it. I do find it kind of overrated. I don't find it as overrated as a lot of people do because I don't have like kids or younger siblings or anything. So the songs weren't really that overplayed for me. But at the same time, the movie is kind of a little overrated.
And there's a lot of things to expect about how the good parts of this movie, but like the animation is gonna be good. It's as good as the first one. It's great animation. The voice acting is really good. You know, singing. But overall, this movie I honestly didn't like. I don't want to act like it was terrible, but I just didn't like it.
Yeah, it honestly did feel like a sequel that wasn't really planned to be made.
Yeah.
But the first one just was so successful, like hugely successful. They're like, well, we have to make a sequel now.
Yeah.
So it felt like this movie was really like thrown together. It didn't really feel like it was super prepared. The story felt kind of messy, like really messy actually. And just overall, it felt like just not needed at all.
And also the songs in this movie, I can't imagine the songs in this movie being like played all the time, like being that memorable. I honestly didn't like many of the songs. I didn't like pretty much any of the songs. There's maybe like one song that was good, but like it wasn't necessarily like I loved it. It was just good. Yeah,
the Into the Unknown song was like the only one that I really like enjoyed, and even then I didn't really like it nearly as much as like Let It Go or any of the other songs from the first movie.
Yeah. And also they like to do this thing, and I like to refer to it like I like to refer to Captain Jack Sparrow when I talk about this. You can have there's certain characters that they're written not as like a main role or not written in a whole lot for a reason, right? So Captain Jack Sparrow, great character when he's not a lead role. When he's a lead role, he's a little too much. Yeah. You know, same thing with Olaf. Olaf, even though he was in the first movie a lot, he didn't seem to be as focused on as in this one. Yeah. He even has his own song in this movie. Oh, yeah. And it's kind of unneeded, especially since none of the story is really that much about him. Yeah. You know?
Yeah, I kind of even felt the same in the first movie. I mean, like, I didn't mind him in the first movie that much, but even in the first movie, I felt like he was really unneeded, and he was only there just for, like, the kids.
Yeah, exactly.
Which, I mean, I can't blame it that much, because it is a kid's movie, but at the same time, it is something that I didn't really think was fully needed in both movies. And really, it felt like the only necessary characters in this movie were Anna and Elsa, and then the rest of the characters were only there just because they're in the first movie, like Olaf and Kristoff. Especially Kristoff, because the only thing that he had to do in this movie was he was trying to propose to Anna.
Yeah.
And like he kept messing up and he couldn't like get the words out. And that was literally his entire character in this movie. And it was just over and over again throughout the entire movie.
Yeah. Also, that does bring up another flaw that I have with this movie, which is the first one. Even though, it's a kid's movie, it also is enjoyable for a lot of people because it does have a very well written story. It has a really cool idea on kind of going against Disney princess movies where like they meet a guy and they fall in love with him.
Oh yeah.
You know, it's like a thing of, it kind of made the point of like, you don't want to meet a guy and then just fall in love with them automatically and want to
Right.
marry them right away.
Exactly.
That's a bad idea, you know? And so that's what I did like about that, and it has a lot of good messages like that. This one here, this one here felt a lot more like a kid's movie. Because I can't remember any actual good messages that it had.
Yeah, it's almost like a Lego Movie and Lego Movie 2, which also came out this year.
Yeah.
Where the first one felt more smartly written. Is that how to describe it? More intelligent, I guess.
Yeah.
And more adult kind of. And then the sequel felt more towards kids.
It's hard for me to bash little kids movies horribly, you know, but to an extent. Like, I understand, like, I do have a lot of flaws with this. And I think your kid's gonna like it. My niece loved it, you know, so your kid's gonna like it if you just wanna take your kid to go out and see a movie. But if you wanna watch a movie for yourself, I don't really recommend it. It's really not that good. The story, like you said, is messy.
Yeah. And there's like a curse, which I'm sure, like, if you watch it a few times, you'll get it a little more. But it just felt like it's all over the place. Because like the story is based on this curse that's in this mystical forest and all that, enchanted forest. And like and Elsa and Anna and the group have to break the curse or whatever. But the curse was really like confusing kind of for me. At least.
I didn't really understand the story that much. It just doesn't flow that well.
It's very vague.
Yeah, it's a very vague storyline, a very vague curse. There's not a villain. You know, there's nothing that they're going against other than they want to end the curse or whatever. And that's really all it is, you know? And so it's just a messy storyline overall. And just like, it just could have been done quite a bit better. And overall the story, like you said, just yells like, we didn't know what we're doing.
Right.
We don't know. We had no idea that Frozen was going to be this successful, but now that it is, let's make more money. You know, and that's where this movie just yells right in your face.
And I mean, it's been out for like a week and it's already making a lot of money.
Yeah, so yeah, I mean,
succeeding.
Yeah, it's a kids
goal.
movie. I mean, kids movies usually do make a lot of money. They don't
Especially
really.
a sequel to a big, successful movie.
Yeah. Also, a big problem I have with this movie is the fact that this movie really has a lot of exposition. There's exposition at the beginning, middle, and like just all throughout it. There's way too much exposition, and this movie just kind of treats its audience like complete idiots. But like I said, it's like a harmless little movie. It's not awful. It's just I don't like it. I thought it was bad, but like, you know, I didn't. It's a weird thing of like I didn't like it, but I didn't hate being there. It was kind of just a movie I was like sitting there like, yeah, it's there, whatever, you know. I wasn't too angry about it afterwards. It was just, you know, whatever.
Yeah, it looked decent enough, and the voice acting was good enough, so I didn't hate being there.
Yeah, and also I will say one other flaw is this movie is actually decently boring at times.
Oh yeah.
There's a lot of times because of the fact that there's such a vague storyline, such a vague curse. There's nothing actually coming after them or anything like that. There's a lot of times where it doesn't feel like anything's really going on. I mean, there is, but what their main goal is mainly just to end a curse. And so a lot of the stuff happening in between just doesn't really feel like much is happening at all. We are gonna say that Frozen 2 is 45% awesome. Well guys, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Also comment and let us know what you thought about Frozen 2. Tell us which one you liked more between Frozen 1 and Frozen 2.
And don't forget to follow us on social media. We have Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, all at 2 Awesome Men.
And as always, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see us later.